A woman floating on the vast ocean. There is no fresh water, no food. How would she create a survival miracle? Welcome to the latest thriller from Netflix. Nowhere. Pregnant Mia lives at the bottom of the society. Because they can't stand the turbulent living environment, she and her husband sold all their belongings, planning to escape the country illegally. When just reached the dock, the container is targeted by prosecutors. All the people hides behind and dares not make a sound. The leading officer promises as long as they come out voluntarily, no official action will be taken. But the moment the door opened, what awaits them is a ruthless hail of bullets. The illegal immigrants fall in a pool of blood. Only Mia survives by hiding on top of the box. After the corpses in the container are cleared, she quickly sends a message to his husband, who is in the neighboring container. Then Mia feels a jolt. Her container has been loaded onto a freighter. After confirming her safety, she quickly dials her husband's phone, and fortunately, it goes unanswered. Mia's heart sinks. Could it be that something happened to my husband too? But the bulging belly gives her confidence. No matter what, she must survive with her child. Opening the suitcases scattered on the floor, she finds a clean blanket. She leans on the container and falls asleep. Mia wakes up in a violent shaking. Looking through a bullet hole, she realizes the cargo ship is facing a severe storm. She shouts for help in the container. But no response. Because the freighter has started to tilt. Containers on the deck are falling into the sea one after another. The miserable Mia loses consciousness. When she wakes up again, all she hears are the soothing sounds of the waves. Looking through a bullet hole, she realizes she's floating alone on the ocean. Suddenly hearing shouts of the people comes from the container. But it soon disappears into the sea. Mia witnesses with her own eyes what just happened. And her heart sinks further. Maybe she will follow in their footsteps. She wants to call her husband for help. Calling all day, she keeps getting no answer. Watching the water level rises slowly, Mia's heart is filled with despair. She wants ending her life, but feels a powerful movement in her belly. The strong and reassuring rhythm of her child's heartbeat makes Mia change her mind. On the second day, Mia is awakened by the cold seawater. The water inside the container has risen a lot. The most important thing right now is to plug the leaking bullet holes. Luckily, she finds a bunch of plastic sealing strips inside a suitcase. She tears them out and manages to seal the thumb-sized holes. Then she uses a hose to pump out the accumulated water from the container. Mia starts to count resources, bottles of water and few tools. The mobile rings. It's her husband Nico. Turns out that Nico did not board the container. Instead, he was left on the side of the road by the driver. Knowing that Mia is floating on the sea, Nico encourages his wife to hang on. He will try his best to rescue her. Nico's promise gives Mia great comfort. Mia starts to conserve resources as much as possible, knowing that every day she survives brings her closer to rescue. However, a massive storm is coming. She can only stabilize her body between the container and the wooden box. What's worse, Mia's abdomen starts to ache. This is a sign of early labor. Hanging her body with a rope, she soaks the lower body in water to relieve pain. Amidst the thunder and painful screams, a little life is born. The baby's cries pierce the sky like a sharp sword. The raging storm subsides. Mia does not feel the joy of surviving the disaster, because being a first-time mother, her full attention is dedicated to her newborn. In this damp and cold environment, the baby keeps crying. Mia knows she has to find a way to let him get some sunshine. Looking at the electric drill, she starts drilling holes in the container to open a skylight. One day has passed. The power of the electric drill has been exhausted. The skylight hasn't been opened yet. With the phone damaged in the storm, Mia becomes irritable. Just when she is throwing things to vent, she sees a Swiss Army knife on a wooden box. So she begins to use it to continue the work. Days pass by. There is not much food left. Mia is starving. She takes out the placenta in the box, swallowing despite of the taste. The blood quickly attracts sharks. Listening to the powerful impact on the container, Mia is frightened, holding the baby until sharks leaves. Early the next morning, she starts working on the connections between the holes, but the knife breaks. It leaves only despair for Mia. The fresh water is running out. Mia is on the verge of collapse. She almost drinks the seawater. But when the baby cries, she resists the urge. Suddenly a little girl comes out of the darkness. She is Mia's imaginary grown-up daughter. Her husband also appears, encouraging Mia to persevere. The cold rain wakes up Mia from her deep sleep. This rainstorm comes just in time. She uses containers to collect the water. Resolving water problem. Mia's mind becomes active again. She uses a canvas rope through the hopes and relies on her gravity to pull. She eventually pulls down the metal piece from the container ceiling. When the bright sunshine shines on the face, Mia cries with excitement. After more than 10 days of drifting in the container, Mia finally climbs out on the deck with her child. With endless sea surrounding them, she can feel the gentle breeze and bright sunshine. She feels that all efforts and persistence are worth it. When Mia changes the baby's diaper, discovers poops attract fish. She comes up with an idea. She ties screws with steel pipe to create a simple harpoon. Mia has been busy all day with nothing. The method needs to be improved. So she uses wires to weave a fishing net. After throwing it into the sea, she drops a diaper again. This time, Nanny Fish swims over. Mia finally catches a fish. She starts eating right away without thinking. Solve the biggest survival problem. Mia starts to think about sending out help message. She makes a simple drifting bottle out of containers, hoping nearby fishing boats can see it. This probably won't work. But for the sake of her child, she still got to try. The phone in her pocket rings again. She manages to pick up the phone, hearing a weak voice of her husband. It turns out that he found a speedboat to rescue her, but was caught red-handed by the prosecutor. He also was shot by a bullet while fleeing. Nico knows he is about to die, so he can only encourage his wife to survive with their child. Mia wants to say goodbye to her husband for the last time, but the phone's battery runs out. She holds her baby crying loudly in this endless darkness. As the water level in the container gets higher and higher, this place is obviously no longer suitable for two of them to stay. She starts making a sailboat for her child. When the container sinks, the sailboat can still float for them. Just when the small sailboat is about to finish, Mia sees a seagull landed on the deck eating discarded fish. Her face shows excitement, because this means that it's not far from the coastline. That night, Mia wants to get her child's foot in the container. When she steps in and looks around, her feet are entangled with ropes. What's worse, the container also begins to sink rapidly, overwhelming gradually by the sea. Mia quickly dives into the water, cuts the rope with a knife and finally gets out of danger. But she can't find her child. Because the thick moisture reduces visibility to extremely low levels, Mia could only scream for response. Miraculously, a huge whale swims past Mia, then comes to the sleeping baby with a continuous spray of water. The little baby is woken up and starts crying. Mia then follows the sound direction and finally comes to her baby. The whale roars with excitement, then disappears into the deep ocean. However, Mia's heart is quickly taken over by despair. Containers lost as habitat. How long can they hold on? When the sun rises, Mia's consciousness has begun to blur. She tries throwing the fish into the sea again. Miraculously, it attracts more seagulls before too long. This magical scene is spotted by a fishing boat not far away. When the fishermen approach with their boat, they couldn't believe their eyes. A sleeping baby floating on the sea. How is it possible for a baby to float on the vast ocean? Fisherman finds a rope attached to the sailboat, the other end of the rope still tied up to unconscious Mia. Her lips are black without breath already. But the baby suddenly makes a loud sound, as if trying to tell the fisherman to save her mom. The fisherman starts doing artificial respiration. Mia finally spits out the sea water and regains consciousness. Mia and her baby are miraculously rescued after more than 20 days of drifting on the sea. If you're interested, go and watch the original film. It can make people fully feel the despair in dangerous situations. Okay, that's it for today's movie. Thanks for watching. See you next time.